The story begins with a brave warrior who pulls the sun from another universe and brings it into this world, making life possible. Then, from the dream world, the first guardian of the moon brings the moon into existence. This creates balance between day and night, and to make sure no evil force can ever steal the sun or the moon, guardians are chosen for both. Their duty is to keep the cycle of day and night running and protect their world. Sohon is seen crafting a javelin, preparing himself because he's about to become the next guardian of the sun. Every 350 years, new guardians are chosen, and Sohon is confident he'll be selected. He's popular, admired, and everyone, especially the girls, is crazy about him. Next, we meet Glim, a girl made of wax. At night, she freezes, and in the heat of the sun, she starts to melt. That's why she has to stay in the shadows. Her father constantly warns her, but Glim is curious. She loves science and wants to explore the world, even though her father tells her that direct sunlight could destroy her. Then we meet Layun, who is supposed to become the next guardian of the moon. He's confident and excited. Using his powers, he makes the moon plants glow. Suddenly, Mune appears, playing around with his pet. By accident, he bumps into Layun, making him angry. Mune's father quickly steps in, scolds him, and locks him inside a cave, warning him to stay there until the new moon guardian is chosen, because Mune always ends up causing trouble. The next morning, as sunlight touches the world, Glim returns to normal while her father remains frozen in the shade. Taking this chance, she carefully avoids the sunlight and heads toward the ceremony where the new guardians will be chosen. At the same time, Mune sneaks out of the cave and goes there as well. The ceremony takes place at the border between day and night. Glim stands right in the middle during evening so she can stay in her normal form. The ancient sun guardian chooses Sohon as the new guardian of the sun. Meanwhile, the moon guardian sends a sacred creature to choose the next guardian of the moon. Everyone expects it to pick Layun, but instead, it chooses Mune, who's hiding in the bushes. Everyone is shocked. Mune is just a child with no experience. It doesn't make sense, but the old guardian trusts the sacred creature and declares Mune as the new moon guardian. Layun, after years of training, is furious. He storms off in anger. As he leaves, two mysterious creatures secretly watch him from the bushes. After the ceremony, the old and new guardians embrace and promise to fulfill their duties. But Sohon isn't happy, because he knows the real one who deserved to be moon guardian was Layun. Those same dark creatures then enter a lava-filled chamber, where their master Necros awaits. His body burns with flowing lava. They tell him everything, that Layun was not chosen, and Mune became the moon guardian. Hearing this, Necros smiles, because this makes his plan easier. He wants to steal the sun, so he releases two white, evil, snake-like creatures from his body and sends them toward Layun. Layun is devastated after not being chosen as the guardian. That's when the same two white, snake-like creatures sent by Necros appear in front of him. They start manipulating him, turning him against Mune. They tell him, "If you help us steal the sun, we'll make you the guardian of the moon." Hearing this, Layun agrees. His eyes turn completely black as he falls under their control. In the next scene, Mune is with the old moon guardian, inside a giant flying creature that carries the moon from one place to another. These are known as the temples. Yune begins teaching Mune how everything works, how to control the moon. At one point, Mune notices a hidden underground door. When he asks about it, Yune explains that the very first moon guardian brought the moon from inside that chamber. Mune is amazed, but also scared. He feels like he's not capable of controlling something this powerful, so he tells Yule that maybe choosing him was a mistake. But Yune doesn't pay much attention, and in the very next moment, just like all previous moon guardians, he transforms into a beautiful night tree. Seeing this, Mune is left completely shaken. Now he has to control the moon all by himself. On the other side, Sohon is extremely happy after becoming the guardian of the sun. When he arrives at the sun temple, he sees that the old guardian, Jolal, has now turned into a stone statue. This makes Sohon emotional. Meanwhile, Mune tries to control the moon, but he fails. He has no experience, and because of that, the giant creature carrying the moon goes out of control. It starts running wildly, causing the moon to shake uncontrollably in the sky. All the creatures around are shocked. Then suddenly, the magical wires that were holding the moon in place snap, and the moon breaks free, flying wildly across the sky. Mune feels helpless and devastated. Without the moon, the giant creature collapses and sits still. At the same time, Sohon is moving forward proudly with the sun, when he suddenly notices that the moon's creature is sitting in his path. He gets angry, because it shouldn't be there. Just then, Layun appears. He manipulates Sohon, saying, "Mune's carelessness has put everyone's life in danger, and as the guardian of the sun, it's your duty to protect all living beings." Hearing this, Sohon becomes furious and heads straight toward Mune. Meanwhile, Mune somehow manages to regain control. With the help of the magical creature, he pulls the moon back into position. Everything starts returning to normal, and the creatures feel relieved, but Sohon isn't at the sun temple anymore. Taking advantage of this, Necros's dark creatures steal the sun and take it away. When Glim sees all this, she's confused and shocked. First the moon and now the sun. What is happening? She immediately decides to inform Sohon. Even though her father warns her not to leave the house, she ignores him and sets off to find Sohon. Mune asks the magical creature to help him control the moon again, but it refuses, because Mune hasn't been able to build a proper bond with it. Just then, Sohon arrives and starts taking control of the moon from Mune. But before he can fully take over, he hears Glim calling out to him. When he reaches her, Glim tells him something shocking. The sun has been stolen. At first, Sohon doesn't believe her, but when he looks up and sees that the sun is gone, and someone is taking it toward Necros's cave, he's completely shaken. Meanwhile, Necros is shown with the sun, and he's thrilled. He blows on it, extinguishing it completely, and hands it over to his dark creatures to guard. Mune arrives there as well. Seeing him, Sohon gets angry and says, "This is all your fault. If you had controlled the moon properly, none of this would have happened." Then Sohon takes the moon away from Mune and gives its control to Liyun. After that, Sohon sets off with Glim to defeat Necros and bring the sun back. Mune is left heartbroken. Becoming a guardian meant everything to him, and now he's lost it. He returns to his tribe, but no one accepts him back. Not even his own father. They blame him for putting everyone's lives in danger. Broken and rejected, Mune feels completely alone. But before leaving, he promises his father, "I'll fix everything." Meanwhile, Sohon and Glim continue their journey. On the way, they run into Mune, who asks to join them and help bring the sun back. At first, Sohon refuses, but when Mune uses his fireflies to guide them through the path, Sohon finally agrees to let him come along. On the other side, Liyun is now the guardian of the moon, but with the sun gone, the moon's power is slowly fading, because the moon can only shine as long as the sun exists. Sohon, Glim, and Mune reach a large lake. Since Necros lives in the underworld, they must cross it to get there. They enter the water, but the moment Glim goes in, she freezes, because she's made of wax. Seeing this, Mune quickly carries her along. Meanwhile, Liyun is getting worried as the moon's light keeps fading. He goes to the magical creature for help, but even it can't do anything. And soon, the moon completely disappears. Liyun is terrified. With the moon gone, the moon temple becomes aggressive, running wildly out of control. And now all the creatures are in fear, because there is no moon and no sun. The entire planet falls into darkness once again. Meanwhile, Mune, Sohon, and Glim continue moving forward. Suddenly, a giant octopus attacks them. But just before it can harm them, Phospho appears, a former guardian of the moon. He saves them from the creature. When Phospho finds out that Sohon is the sun guardian, and that the sun was stolen so easily by Necros's creatures, he gets angry and starts to leave. He expected better. Seeing this, Mune stops him and asks for help. At first, Phospho refuses, but after some time, he agrees. And now, all of them head toward Necros. On the way, Phospho reveals the truth. Necros wasn't always evil. He was once the guardian of the sun. Back then, instead of lava, sweet water flowed from his chest. But one day, a white evil snake corrupted him with its power. After that, Necros tried to keep the sun for himself. Seeing this, Jolal stepped in. Since he was a powerful warrior, he easily defeated Necros and imprisoned him in the underworld. Glim tells Phospho, "I read in the books when Jolal was fighting Necros, you hid behind a rock. That's why you were removed as the moon guardian." Hearing this, Phospho gets angry and walks away. Now they continue toward Necros on their own. But suddenly, Mune hears the moon temple, completely out of control, running wildly. Seeing this, Mune leaves with Glim on his pet to stop it, while Sohon jumps alone into the underworld to get the sun back. With great difficulty, Mune uses his magical dust powers and somehow manages to calm and control the moon temple. Meanwhile, Sohon reaches Necros, but just as he moves forward to take back the sun, the white evil snake appears and attacks him. It starts trying to corrupt Sohon, just like it did with Necros. At the same time, Mune and Glim enter the moon temple. Inside, they see Liyun, crying, completely broken after losing the moon. Then Mune notices the same underground chamber, the one from where the first guardian brought the moon. Realizing this, Mune decides to do the same. He and Glim jump into the dream world. In the dream world, dark creatures attack them, but Mune uses his dust powers and wipes them out instantly. They finally reach a massive magical stone, the same one from which the first guardian carved out the moon. Mune does the same and pulls out a new moon from the stone. Glim is amazed and happy, and somewhere along the way, she's starting to like Mune. When Mune returns with the moon, everyone is relieved, including Liyun. Now Liyun finally realizes Mune truly is the real moon guardian, but the moon still doesn't shine, because the moon and sun are connected. So Glim says, "We need to help Sohon." Meanwhile, Sohon has been completely corrupted by the white snake, but just before it can finish him, Phospho returns. He sacrifices himself, giving all his energy to Sohon, and because of that, Sohon returns to normal, free from the snake's control. Just then, Mune and Glim arrive. Sohon is relieved to see them. Now all of them head together to defeat Necros and bring back the sun. But when they reach him, they're terrified. Necros is massive. They look like tiny ants in front of him. Necros attacks. Sohon tries to hold him off and tells Mune and Glim, "Go, bring the sun back." As Mayuni and Glim move toward the sun, Necros's dark creatures attack Mayuni, knocking him down. Seeing this, Glim moves forward alone. Without caring about her own life, she blows on the sun, trying to reignite it. Mayuni tells her to stop, but she doesn't listen, and finally she succeeds. The sun is activated again. At the same moment, Necros crushes both Sohon and Mayuni under his massive feet. But as the sun comes back to life, the moon also begins to shine again. And with that, Mayuni and Sohon regain their powers. Together, they attack Necros. Mayuni uses his magic and drags Necros into the dream world. There, he pulls the white evil snake out of Necros's body, and instantly, Necros returns to his true form. Instead of lava, cool water flows from his body. The underworld transforms. Greenery spreads everywhere. Everything is finally restored. Mayuni reshapes Glim's melted body and places a piece of the moon in her hands before leaving to control the moon. With the sun and moon back, the entire world returns to normal. When sunlight touches Glim, the moon's power protects her. She comes back to life, fully. Now she can survive both day and night. Seeing her alive, her father and Sohon are overjoyed, and when Mayuni sees Glim, he hugs her tightly. Then they share a kiss.